We got the local American favorite, Kolohe Andino, up against three-time world champion, Mick Fanning. Let's get into this heat. Kolohe Andino driving down the line, going to the air. Going huge, too huge. Fly away. Start his heat.
And it was tough because Glenn is such a dangerous competitor. A lot of guys underrating him, but I don't. So was really pay attention for everything, his move and his strategy. And probably I got a little bit nervous in the beginning because we had a restart, and my whole strategy was I need to recap and then try to do a new one. But right at the end, I'm really happy to make this heat, and now it's a new event for me.
You talk about the hours he puts in, Chris. The day before the contest started, I saw his armpits. That was the worst rash I've ever seen in anyone in his life. It was crazy how much surf time he put in.
Mick Fanning, number 2 in the world, opens it up with a beautiful turn right in front of Kolohe Andino. Just cranking it off the bottom as per usual. Mistake-free surfing from Mick Fanning. I mean, the surgical attack of this guy is unprecedented. You see, even when he pulls out, he's still flexing. You know, he's every muscle he uses through every turn, and you see even right now, there's no relaxation ever with Mick Fanning. He's very calm, but don't let that fool you. I mean, he is fully tensed, stressing, and really putting everything in his turns.
Well, I think, you know, he's just maybe the most composed surfer on tour. He never seems to, you know, over surf or try too hard or get in his own way. And he definitely did this in this way. This is just a warm-up for Mick Fanning. Nice snap there, keeping it flowing, and, you know, a nice amount of speed through that cutback. But you can see this is just obviously a warm-up from him. I like this little tail release right there. You're even going to see this last maneuver. There's the tail. Watch the little fist pump. And, you know, I think he knows it's going to be a medium score, but he's just trying to maybe steal a little bit of that thunder away from the crowd. He knows Kolohe is going to be a heavy favorite down here, being a local boy. Mick, very smart, just trying to maybe show the judges about, you know, that he has a lot of passion in his heat.
Number 1, moving on into round 4, guys. A great matchup right now in the water. What do you guys think it's going to take for Kolohe Andino to control his froth and get the win over Mick Fanning?
Mick Fanning, can he stay sharp? That's a good way to start right there. Another beautiful carving turn. Wow, okay. Well, that may have freed things up a little bit. And you see, he's not taking this heat lightly. After that fall, he's getting right back out there. That leaves Kolohe Andino out the back. Possible opportunity. What happened here, Ross?
Well, Mick Fanning falling on a turn like that maybe happens once out of every 25 times. You know, he is so steady and consistent.
This is live, right back, out the back. So now Andino sticks to the carve, goes up with a float, looking for a ramp. He gets it. Last the frontside air reverse. Can he hang on? All right, now that is a completed maneuver. Crowd goes wild. Now we've got a heat on our hands. Over psych. If you dial it back 1%, this is what can happen.
Well, you know, I like the patience. Instead of forcing the issue like he has in the last few waves, he just, you know, kind of surfed what was in front of him. And then he went big on that last maneuver. Big tail hawk rotation. He had the milk out of it. The judges, you know, of course, that's not going to be as rewarding as a clean land. But make no mistake about it, he definitely landed this thing. Remember last year in France, there was a couple big airs that Kolohe did, and he just barely didn't ride out of it. A lot of people were saying, hey, you know, that's pretty much a make, but the judges said, no, you got to ride in front of the whitewash. So Kolohe petting the cat right there, making sure he gets back in front of the whitewash.
Right here, he put his name on it. Let the judges know. Look, I got this. There's no questions needed here. That was a complete maneuver. So Kolohe Andino will make his way back out. Mick Fanning is out the back. He does have priority. He's got a huge score, an 8. And we're waiting for his second score now, a 5.5. So Kolohe Andino's comboed. But wait, after this break, we'll get the score for Kolohe's last wave. Kolohe's last wave comes through a 6.57. Pulls him out of that combo spot. Now he needs a 6.94. Mick with an 8, a 5.5. 8 minutes, 41 seconds to go. All right, 6 minutes, 21 seconds to go. Mick Fanning has priority. Will he exercise? He does. Kolohe has to yield to Fanning, who goes vert on his first turn. Kind of a weird wave, but makes do of what he gets with a crazy slicing karate kick ender.
It's just right in his wheelhouse. Lowers really just magnifies Mick Fanning's strengths. And watch this, 3 tail zips right to the face. 2, and this one might even be the best one. Click! Wow, so much speed out of that. And you know, his tail slides, they're not childish. That's a man tail slide, which is, there's a big difference there. You know, he's really flexing those fins.
Stalling on the takeoff, looking for something big. Blast the fins out, completes the first big maneuver. Arcing back on the open face. He's got a section. Nails it at the end, but nowhere near as explosive as Fanning's ender. However, the beginning, that big blowtail reverse. That was a great start. So it started with a bang, ended with a kind of a whimper there. But I like that he completed the ride.
Yeah, you know, that wave was always tricky. It kind of got split in half by that rib. The air reverse was nice. No one's going to argue that, you know, the commitment and the degree of difficulty from these turns that Kolohe's doing, or these little blowtails, they're through the roof. But beyond that, this wave was funky town. Right there's that rib. He had to hop over it, and that really diluted any speed he had to finish it.
Yeah, he completed the wave, but again, it wasn't that big, explosive finish that we saw. And Mick Fanning, contrary to that, his 3 solid maneuvers enough to get him a 6.83. Now Kolohe Andino, job is a little bit tougher. An 8.26 needed to take this win.
And then go into a couple of man hacks. He said he needs to really just pace himself. He was a little upset with the wave he caught on that last set. He was wondering why he took that inside wave, and he's sitting out the back, getting the sets, going to work early, and then finishing up with some big, beautiful cars, as man hacks, as he would call it.
Feeling very good about that heat, Ross.
You know, most likely be kind of an expensive bird right there. But you can see Mick Fanning's mom elated. Mick composed, calculated, little warrior right there, as usual. Pretty smooth victory.